Welcome to DC GCC, where we bring you governmental information and classical entertainment. I am Governor Dr. Elizabeth Samantha Rothschild, Judge, Governor of the Federal Estate of Washington, District of Columbia, with a special update regarding our first congressional session with regard to appointments, nominations, and confirmation of government officials and departmental directors of the DC government. Initially, I had wanted to keep everyone in their positions in order to find the best candidates. I figured that the best candidates were already in position, and we only needed to translate into lateral or promotional value their titles and job descriptions. As well, I wanted to give everyone who I came across who was about their business in their job description the chance to move up in DC. So what we've come to is my looking at the various departments and seeing who's already working in whatever area and keeping them there. Most specifically, the Department of Health and Human Services is of direct effect to me at this time because I'm currently still staying at the public homeless shelter in this interim while my home is being prepared and going into general contract. So I'm most affected by the Department of Human Services. Now what's happening is the Department of Human Services has an ascending operational authority, which is the Department of Health and Human Services. So at the estate capacity of in the gubernatorial administration, there's the DC Department of Health and Human Services, and a part of that would be at the province capacity where the Department of Human Services is. The Department of Human Services is absorbing all public services for the homeless. The Department of Health and Human Services, the government, the DC gubernatorial administration, we're absorbing all public services, and only authorized governmental agencies will be able to distribute these services with regard. So it will not longer be possible to administrate privatized services for public services, okay? With regard, Department of Health, the Department of Human Services is overtaking all of the public homeless shelters, and we're in transition, and it may take a little while. This directly affects me because I'm still at the homeless shelter. So the two persons that I have in nomination for the Department of Health and Human Services are A.D. Rachel Pierre and David Ross, because they are already with the Department of Human Services. As well, positions are coming open for the Department of Human Services with regard to each province. So those are the persons that I have in nomination, and I would like to see confirmed because they've done such an excellent job with the human services as it is. This directly affects me. I'm going to get a little heartfelt here because I'm staying at the homeless shelter, and I have raised awareness since my time of arriving in DC, the nature and conditions under which I came here. And the staff has been made aware with information directly from me as to who I am, the circumstances surrounding my becoming governor, and the conditions, my situation, what's going on, why I'm still at the homeless shelter. This has been ignored. Now, initially, I wanted to maintain everyone that I came across at the homeless shelter in some capacity because I felt that it would be most appropriate to deal with persons that I know are already employed to present them greater opportunities and to definitely not remove their current positions from them. And I've come across a lot of incompetence since making that decision. So in my original agenda, I had made a few nominations for note of persons that I wanted to bring in and try for different positions and appoint in different agencies, because the work is plenteous. We need the laborers. We need persons who are trustworthy and dependable for these positions. So I had initially considered appointing persons. Since that time, a lot of persons have proved themselves unworthy, and my offers are rescinded, even though in the meantime they are pretending that they're going to be appointed into some sort of position and things will go on as they see fit, when that is not at all true. But why argue about it? When we get to that date, when we get to the end, things will go on just as I have prescribed with regard. But it's a little heartfelt because I'm there and I'm being treated most disregardingly. You know, it's they want to ignore that I'm the governor who makes the decisions about the persons who have positions. Now, on a personal note, the Catholic Charities is in acquisition by one of my private organizations, one of my private nonprofit organizations. And as the owner, the new owner of that organization, I have to come to terms with the fact that I cannot provide public services any longer and get out of the homeless shelter business. However, I'm able to provide public food services as I wanted, as long as I am registered here in the state with the Department of Health and Human Services to do so and abide according to the policy predicated. Well, the persons that are working for that organization that I have seen their corruption, they will not have jobs with the Catholic Charities any further, and as well that I am the governor who decides the positions for the Department of Human Services and the Department of Health and Human Services. They will not have positions there. And that part is nothing personal. It's that the level of competency is not adequate to be able to trust that operations and administration of public services would be as they should be without corruption and without dissent. So facing these things that are most treasonous, and in light of a situation where I am somewhere and it is ignored, my position, it doesn't set well for their futures. And so we can't feel sorry for persons who refuse to acknowledge information that they have been given. And it's quite ignorant. It's as dumb as someone who is maybe a licensed practitioner protesting against the physician. It's like, even in situations, say like a suicide questionnaire, where the CNA or the certified nursing assistant wants to ask the doctor, do they feel suicidal? When it's not called for, that's a defamation attempt, and it is an attack against that physician. I feel the same way being governor in a public service and addressed as though I am a common part of the unit populace. So there's nothing we can do about these particular things but document, make note, and not feel sorry for persons who are today embarrassed and tomorrow will be embarrassed and unemployed. So I wanted to get that out there and make note that all of the positions are pretty much filled because we already have persons in position. So there's just more detailed training for a higher capacity. And I am requiring that people meet a standard of criteria. If the job requires an educational capacity, then that must be met in order for someone to be employed in that position. Just putting someone in a job and micromanaging them is not sufficient. And we are working towards complete efficiency in the federal estate of Washington, District of Columbia. I am getting to the rest of the questions that I've received, and I'm not prepared to answer them just yet at this moment, and may disseminate the information through the Office of the Press Secretary, maybe on my social media or on one of the other Federal Estate of Washington, District of Columbia interim websites. Feel free to contact me, and I will get right back with you as soon as I can, and I do appreciate everyone's feedback. Have a great day.